Without any response, without seeming to pay a second's attention to the starting-to-sweat man who was pleading for his driving life. They were all completely absorbed in their own phones, waiting to see if a mailbox icon would flash some notification that someone out there was thinking of them.
"It's not our policy to check if you've paid for insurance," the lady behind the glass said to my back. "We just check to see that you have it. You've been driving without insurance for 4 months now."
I turned back around.
"Well, that means I paid for nothing then, doesn't it? Nothing! Why don't you go after the insurance company that kept cashing checks after they shut down? Who, may I ask, is responsible for that?"
"Mister, I suggest you keep your voice down, or I will be forced to notify security. Neither of us wants that, do we?"
I studied her movements as I would study myself in the mirror before reading for a part, trying to find a flaw in her character.
"I've got to say, I think you might actually want that just a little bit. Just a little. See the corner of your mouth? You're licking the inside of your lips at the chance to have me thrown out of here. Your insides are moving. I've studied a long time to understand how people move on the inside."
She didn't like that one. Her heavy finger moved toward some secret button underneath the counter. I tried to isolate my thoughts, like those people in self-help books tell you to.
"Are you really angry? Are you sure? Isn't that anger just a thought? Do you know if it's real? Nothing is there but your thoughts. Laugh at your thoughts."
Those words flashed across my mind like an LED ticker screen.
"Look,"
I said, lowering my voice.
"I know you can't move outside of those lines you read when someone like me is standing on the other side of a person like you, but I need to know how long it's going to be before I can drive again. Would you at least be able to tell me that?"
She sighed, tapped a few keys on her antiquated computer with a hand that wasn't holding her phone, and squinted at the results on the screen. Before giving me an answer, she made eyes at the one headphone-wearing clerk moving behind her as he put another stack of papers in a basket that had held millions of the same.
"The penalty for driving without insurance is a 6-month license suspension," she said. "Come back then. You'll pay a fine of $250 and be required to retake the written portion of the driving test. Next!"
"Fine,"
I said, resigned to figuring out how to get around Los Angeles without a car. I'd already started to convince myself I could use it as motivation for a future part dealing with some down-on-his-luck character.
"If I pay you now, can I go and get my car out of the impound lot today?"
Reluctantly, her fingers started typing again.
"I'm sorry, mister, but you won't be able to get the car out of impound until you pay the fine and retake the written portion of the driving test."
She hit a few more of the keys on her computer, ending with a firm push down on the return button. As the printer started doing its job, she looked again at the clock on the wall behind me, and then down again at her phone when she realized again that the wall clock didn't work. I turned to see how the people waiting in the rows of chairs behind me were reacting to the injustice being done before them. But they just went on clutching their tickets bearing the numbers denoting how close they were to being called to a window of their own. 9 out of 10 of them had their phones out, playing Words with Friends, no doubt, or posting their thoughts on Twitter.
"OMG, this guy is #freaking-out at DMV."
A screen above flashed E88, and a woman with 2 kids spinning around her as if they were orbiting moons walked up to a window. The woman behind the counter tore off my printed-out piece of paper and slid it under the glass between us.
"I'll pay the whole $250 now," I said. "Can I pay with a card?"
"No, mister. I'm afraid you've misunderstood. There is a $55 per day fee for holding your car in the impound lot."
"Fine. So that makes the total $305, correct?"
I said, translating the deleted numbers in my head into the kind of food I'd be able to buy and how much almost expiring milk and juice I'd have to consume from the 99-cent store.
"No, mister. We're not going to be able to release your car until you pay."